matchup between the Indianapolis Colts and the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Colts, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And if you look back to last week, it was all about their defense. Anytime you hold an NFL team to single digits, that's saying something.
quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. This is fielded at the goal line. So the Colts in great position here as they get things started. They will be led out by a second-round pick in 2019. Out of Missouri, it's Drew Lock.
And his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
Go now. 60 outlaw.
Here we go. Watch tight end. Watch tight end. Tight end, right.
Back.
It's caught by Funchess. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Lock to throw on 2nd down. He completes this one to Mack. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so. It gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it, and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
A short gain there of just 4, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a 1st down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
Out is Carlson now for the Raider field goal. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And this one is no good. He missed it. And this will remain a scoreless game. Well, that opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
Now they're set up nicely at the 45-yard line after the missed field goal from 55. Now the first carry here for Todd Gurley. The numbers on the ground for Gurley last week. There was no answer for him defensively. Over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns to boot.
And that was a fun film to watch because a few of those runs, it was apparent he was just not going to be denied. And his team is hoping that that carries over to this week as well.
Now on 2nd down, this is Gurley. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49. 2 yards on the first down carry, and then followed up by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on 3rd down to keep the drive going. Over the middle, complete. It's Shaw. Give him 8 yards on the play, and they pick up the first.
It's a nice job hitting him on the angle route there. Come out of the backfield, cutting sharply across the middle. And that's good timing between the quarterback and his receiver.
Effective 3rd down play to move the chains. Now it's Gurley. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Last week we saw a rarity. He was over 200 yards on the ground, and they lost. So we'll see if they can get more carries like that and win this week.
And that was interesting watching the game tape, wasn't it? Because it was hard to register While we watched him pile up that yardage and create those nice runs, then they didn't win the football game. But that doesn't mean changing what you do. Continue to feed him the football.
They'll try a handoff right with Gurley. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
On 1st and 10, Rudolph. Screen play, McKinnon. A nice little screen. They get 6 on first down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. They run. It's Gurley. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
So on the heels of the run by Todd Gurley, another 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Derek Wolfe there on the tackle.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
58, right over there, right over there. Yeah. Mike, 58.
Here's Gurley. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Michael. Got his man, and it's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Jared Cook with touchdown number 8 on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. A post to the tight end for 6. Gosh, those guys are so tough to cover, aren't they? Just in general, tight ends running those patterns near the goal line.
Because you have to decide how you want to treat them. Are they a wide receiver? Are they a big extra blocker on the field? Or are they a hybrid and caught in between? So are you going to use a linebacker? Are you going to use a safety? Are you going to even move a corner in if you're going to play nickel or dime defense? They usually win those matchups because they have an answer for all 3 of those positions.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
A look at the numbers for Mack from last week. 15 carries, 59 yards.
They've won 2 straight games and have done it with the running game as the focal point of their offense. So in this contest, I don't think about doing anything else. I continue to ride the hot hand that I've established and lead with the runners.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Now Locke on the bootleg. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Devin Bush, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. Back deep for the Steelers, Ryan Switzer. 46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. It means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A Steeler 1st down on the pickup of 11 yards.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
On 1st down, it's Rudolph. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And it'll be a 2nd and long.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me. Good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the...
He rifles one that's intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
They'll run on 1st down with Marlon Mack. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. On 2nd down, here's a run with Mack. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. I was pretty surprised there when they lined up to run it on 2nd and long, but it worked out for them.
It certainly did, and that requires some confidence, some fortitude, and a little bit of hope, doesn't it? You hope you catch the defense just right and break off a big run to help yourself out on the next down.
They'll try and run for this with Mack. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in, your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
And his kick is good. Oh, he just did tuck it into the bottom of that left corner. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. Well, that's something of a pick-me-up. The offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it. Those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
Let's go, let's go.
And our Attention shifts to Todd Gurley. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. It's a 6-yard loss on the play, and it'll make this a 2nd and long. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Hey, we got four.
Now on 2nd and 16. Rudolph. He's going to fire one. Looking for Green, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Malik Hooker. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
Good stuff.
One. 57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 2, Locke's going to throw. And this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
It's got to the point where we see guys like that make that type of a catch. Not fair goes through my brain. That size, that speed, and now they're acting like wide receivers too.
Yeah, tight end one-handed catches. They're kind of like wide receiver one-handed catches nowadays.
Just not right.
Block now on 1st down. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So it's 1st and goal, and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. Looking to run with Mack. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. Again, it'll be Mack. And he takes it in for a Colts score. Marlon Mack with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Colts have taken the lead.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Marty looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead is now 10-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And the Steelers set to take the field. Down 3, under a minute to go. How aggressive are you going to be in this spot?
Not as aggressive as I probably would want to be. Only down 3. I mean, it might as well be even going into the half. That's not a deficit that makes me want to push it and potentially make a mistake in this situation and cost myself even more points.
But, boy, getting into field goal range and tying it, that's tempting.
Awfully enticing. You almost talked me into it.
And brought in by the tight end Cook. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit them, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Back to throw. Stevenson. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Jared Cook in the final seconds of the first half. And the Steelers are going to retake the lead. Well, there you go, Charles. His first touchdown pass in the new season.
Well, let's just go back to his rookie year because he's able to get his feet wet, right? Get a little bit of experience. Now I think here in year 2, the game will slow down for him, and we'll see his true talents come out.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And the lead is now 14-10. So that drive, 4 plays. And it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Short kick. One of the up middle take it now. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll get started down at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. And as you see, they were winners back on Thursday night. Rashard Higgins, a touchdown catch in the victory. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And out trots Jared Cook with the rest of his offensive mates. And what can they do to better account for him? Because they haven't accounted for him well so far as we see here on your screen.
They may have to draw up coverages they haven't run so far. They have to create something on the fly because he's beaten everything. And when you watch this game unfold, you keep thinking to yourself, is it 2 men, 3 men, maybe even a 4th guy may have to go and account for him. But right now, he's shredding the defense.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Again they run with Gurley. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. It'll be a gain of 17 at a Pittsburgh first. This quarterback now a perfect 5 of 5 since taking over. They haven't missed a beat. 1st and 10. Now Gurley. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have runs like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game. Gurley again here on first down. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. From the 32 now, here's first and 10.
Leo, now.
They'll run it here. This is James White. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Larry Ogunjobi there to make the tackle. Opting to run again here with White. And only able to get two here. Stopped at the 30.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's fourth down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And Boswell's kick is good. And that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the third quarter. Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. To throw on 2nd and 6. Locke. He was looking for the connection with Devin Funchess. But now it's third down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Locke now to throw. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. He lost a big chunk, 6 yards there, and it leads to fourth down.
What a catch, and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
They get a little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
Well, nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking, because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Bravo!
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Stevenson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Timmy Jernigan, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Good coverage there. An even 50-yard punt leads to a return of 5. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in.
He's got a man, complete. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. And that goes for a gain of 31. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Lock now on 1st down. Taken in by the tight end Doyle. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll run it out of the gun with Mack. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues.
Down, 50, plant.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down is Locke. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Lambert. A 14-yard gain for Indianapolis and also moved the sticks. Locke now. 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Out of the gun. Here's a give to Mack. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Marlon Mack. His 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. As they can now even this game here in the 4th quarter with the extra point. He's having a nice little game. Maybe already has an eye on that 3rd touchdown.
And how about what our producer, Christian McLeod, likes to say when they've scored touchdowns like this? He's put a tent up in Touchdown City.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And an important one that is, as we are all tied now early in this 4th quarter. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And the end result was a Marlon Mack touchdown run. 17-17 the score. All even to this point as the kick's away. This will be fielded at the 6. Then he'll take this across the 25. A couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So with the Steeler offense on their way out, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off around the 37. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. On the ground, it's Mack. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
from the gun on third down. Locke into the hands of his running back, Marlon Mack. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And here's a throw that's taken in by the tight end Cook. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. Fifth catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right, safety valve, throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
To throw on second down, Stevenson. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Shaw. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. This quarterback now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. First and 10. Gurley. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. Looking to throw on second down. Stevenson. And this is Cook with a grab. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another first down at the Colts 26.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Three points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Back to the workhorse today. It's Gurley. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A big hitter there. A first down gain of 26 yards. They'll try and push it in with Gurley. And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. Here comes a 20th carry for Gurley. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Todd Gurley, his 11th touchdown of the year, as his guys have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Colts now down 24-20. At time, a huge factor. They need a touchdown. A field goal is worthless now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Locke. He's got Jack Doyle. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Locke's trying to hurry him up with that clock running. They'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Lambert. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First down now, but the clock continues to move. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. To throw is Locke. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Funchess has it complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now the Colts will use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Back to throw. He's going to let it fly. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Back to throw. Open man is Gordon, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for Pittsburgh, the win is their 5th of the year as they move to 5-8. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for Indianapolis, it's unfortunately more of the same as they'll fall to 3-10 on the year. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Jaguars in Jacksonville. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Honey, I dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, man, oh there with the hands. Started to guard me, I ruin they plans. I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, honey, y'all dash, 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 yeah. They can't catch up cause they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs. They on attack when they tackle like damager. They react and play it back on the camera. Hot boy, just consider me flammable. Sure shot, I got all the intangibles. Need a leash, I'm a beast, I'm an animal. Heat the competition up like a Hannibal. Know the game like I wrote up the manual. I do weekly what you do on the annual. MVP, that decision unanimous. Hit dials, I don't think they can handle it. Battlefield, it's just me and my warriors. Guaranteed we emerging victorious. Years, blood, sweat, tears, is glorious. I remember when they always ignoring us. Dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash. They will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone. Watch me celebrate. I'm cocky. I do my dance. Jump in the stands. No man, man. Oh, there with the hands. Thought they could guard me. I ruin they plans. I do what I want. They do what they can. Got it on smash. Put on the gas. I will not crash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. They slept on the team that they owe me. I need a ring and a trophy. I say I can call.